Like it or not, adaptations are modern Hollywood's bread and butter. Sure, movies have always borrowed from books and other medium, but ever since the 2000s, studios have gone all in on pre-existing IP. Comic books, novels, anime, video games. It's hard to name a medium that hasn't been adapted into film by now. But just because adaptations are common doesn't mean they're always good. There are plenty of ways these movies can go wrong, but today I want to focus on one issue that always sparks controversy: faithfulness. How faithful does a movie need to be to its source material? Does being a bad adaptation automatically make for a bad movie? Let's talk about it. But real quick, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into it. First up, why are adaptations so common in the first place? Honestly, the answer isn't that complicated. Making an adaptation of an already popular IP is a much safer bet than taking your chances on an original project. Some people love blaming audiences for that, but that's nonsense. Ryan Coogler's Sinners, Zach Cregger's Barbarian and Weapons, Jordan Peele's entire filmography, people absolutely will show up for original ideas when they look interesting. It's not that audiences reject originality, it's that studios keep making movies that cost the GDP of a small African country. And when you're spending that kind of money, you want guarantees. You want something that'll outsell sliced bread. Adaptations look safe because they come with built-in audiences. But here's the first bump in the road. I'm about to say something so obvious that some people still can't process it. Fans of a thing are fans of a thing. They like the core identity of it, the characters, tone, world, themes, whatever makes it what it is, and they're emotionally attached to that stuff. Most fans don't demand a frame-by-frame recreation, but they absolutely want the heart of the thing preserved. If fans of the source material are happy, they'll scream it out from the rooftops. Look at the love that the One Piece live-action show or the Sonic movies got. They got embraced by the fanbase and rewarded with huge success. Hell, the Mario Galaxy movie is, by all accounts, not very good, but it's still doing gangbusters at the box office because of its commitment to Nintendo fan service. This, by the way, is how I know the Fallout showrunner was just being a big baby when he said it's impossible to please fans. Clearly, it isn't. But if fans hate what you've done, a lot of them are gonna check out immediately. Anybody here look back fondly on the Netflix Resident Evil show? Yeah, didn't think so. And yet, a lot of people in the industry and online seem completely bewildered by this. So let me explain, assuming everybody's arguing in good faith. Passion is passion. You can't expect fans to support and glaze your work when it makes sweeping, fundamental changes to the thing they like. The same reason I praise One Piece whenever I get the chance is the reason I dunk on Devil May Cry whenever I get the chance. It's just what it means to be a fan. You're emotionally invested. And if you think that's lame, I'm sorry. It must be exhausting going through life when you think having genuine emotional reactions is cringe. Henry Cavill clearly understands what I mean, and I imagine it was partly why he left The Witcher to make an actually good adaptation instead. Fingers crossed for that guy. But does that mean adaptations need to be as faithful as possible? Not exactly. Going back to One Piece, that show isn't a one-to-one translation of the manga. Some changes are just necessary because of the medium. Like in the manga, the only thing limiting Oda is imagination, but in live action, it's a little harder to justify building a giant, elaborate ship set for just one quick scene before throwing it in the garbage. And beyond those necessary changes, some alterations can genuinely improve a story. In the Teen Titans storyline, The Judas Contract, Terra is just kind of a bitch, right? A terrible person. But in the cartoon, they made her more sympathetic and removed the frankly disgusting plot point about her and Deathstroke having a sexual relationship. Good changes. And then you have stuff like Dracula, Frankenstein, or Phantom of the Opera. Stories that have been adapted so many times that everybody expects new versions to change some stuff, if for nothing else, just to stand out. Because here's the thing. To general audiences, faithfulness matters, but talent matters more. There are absolutely terrible adaptations that are still great movies. The most famous example I can give you is The Shining. Stephen King hates Kubrick's version because it fundamentally changes the character of Jack Torrance. In the book, he's a good man overtaken by his demons. In the movie, He's pretty much a dick from minute one, and the hotel just gives him permission to act out his worst impulses. King is completely justified, but Kubrick's movie is still the definitive version. And I say that as somebody who intentionally read the book first and only watched the movie later. Another example is Starship Troopers. Paul Verhoeven hated Robert Heinlein's book, so he turned the movie into a takedown of what he thought was the philosophy in the book. I actually agree with Heinlein's worldview, but found the book pretty slow. Meanwhile, I disagree with Verhoeven's take, but the movie is way more fun. Thanks to the wonderful concept of death of the author, I can completely ignore what that Dutch prick wanted me to think and just enjoy an adaptation with more violence and boobs, an objective improvement. So yes, sometimes bad adaptations can become great movies, but let's note something important here. The Shining, Starship Troopers, Blade Runner, Jurassic Park, these were made by some of the greatest filmmakers of the 20th century. These guys knew what they were doing. It's not just anybody who can flip a story upside down and still make it work. If you radically change the source material, you're fighting an uphill battle. Many fans are gonna bail immediately, so now your version has to stand entirely on its own merits. Kubrick could do that, Spielberg could do that, Adi Shankar can't. Which brings me to another point. Even the movies I mentioned still drew heavily from the books they were adapting. You can see that the filmmakers were inspired by the stories even if they took them in different directions. With this in mind, I just have one question. If you're spending millions buying the rights to a story, why ignore the story? I once said that and somebody got all mad and started going like, because originality matters? It's like, bro, you know what's more original than adapting something? Making a new story. If you're such a warrior for originality, why are you even watching adaptations? Like I said in my Wonder Man review, I would have enjoyed that show just as much if it were called Justice Man and had nothing to do with Marvel. It was so disconnected from the source material that it didn't need to be an adaptation at all. And that brings me to something I like to call narrative contraband. This is when an adaptation is so far removed from the thing it's supposedly adapting that it becomes obvious the creators never wanted to adapt it in the first place. They had some entirely separate script nobody wanted, then lazily taped a famous IP on top of it and hoped somebody would greenlight it. The Netflix Resident Evil show is one example. Castlevania Nocturne is another. Hell, Emerald Fennell practically admitted she had no interest in adapting Wuthering Heights faithfully. The movie was basically just her teenage fantasy project with the title stapled on. And judging by some of the questionable choices in that film, I believe her. Even authors have started calling this stuff out, people like Brandon Sanderson and Andrei Sapkowski. Whenever this comes up, somebody invariably says, well, but you see, it's hard to get original projects greenlit. Maybe, but I don't see why fans are supposed to pay for that. You have a problem? Take it up to the studio heads, not the audience. Like I said earlier, people will support original projects if they look good. And in some of these cases, I'm pretty sure the reason the original script didn't get made wasn't because Hollywood fears originality. It's because the script just sucks. So, what's the solution? I don't agree with the people online who say just hire fans. If a filmmaker already loves the source material, great, that helps. But making it mandatory is just unrealistic. Say you want a Legacy of Kain movie. How many people do you think are both hardcore fans of those games and talented filmmakers? Safe to say, not many. No, I think the real solution is for people in the industry to treat their jobs like jobs. Do the research, learn what fans actually love about the source material, understand the heart of it, then try to capture that in your version. And if your attitude is, screw the original, I'm doing my own thing, okay, but maybe check whether you're a Kubrick or Spielberg level director first, because if you're not, the best you can hope for is joining the pile next to such prestigious achievements as Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li and House of the Dead. In short, a faithful adaptation can get away with being just okay. An unfaithful adaptation can only get away with being great. And those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you care about faithfulness in adaptations? What are the best and worst adaptations you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It really helps. See you next time.